Hi, this is Jeffrey Kurt Financial Group. Today is Wednesday, July 9, 2025. And I think that the markets are kind of in a Alfred E. Newman mode from the old Mad Magazine in context of, what me worry about things. Now, let me explain. The Monday, we had a sell-off and volatility kind of rate went a little bit higher. But in general, volatility measurements have been moving lower. So when volatility moves lower, usually asset prices move up, and it's kind of what we've had here. And what's interesting is with all of the headlines that the markets are so calm. Now, let me try to explain a little bit. Volatility protection and hedging now is done for days. And it used to be that you'd hedge out, longer periods of time. But right now, the way the markets trade, the volatility and the hedging ends up being very short term, either, today, tomorrow, kind of a strategy. So right now, nothing really going on this week. Tomorrow on Thursday, we have jobless claims, which will be looked at, but there's no, next week we start earnings. That'll be a catalyst. CPIs next week. A week from Friday on the 18th is going to be the options expiration for the month of July. It's the monthly expiration, which can cause some rebalancing and repositioning and some volatility. It can, it may not. Later in the month is pretty important. You've got the Federal Reserve meeting on July 30th. Nothing expected, but again, the language and the guidance could be very important. And then August 1 is the tariff stuff. So right now, it's an interesting, I think, environment in that there's really not a lot going on. And, I think that if the markets continue to kind of grind higher, there's more buyers higher because they can't, the fear of being missing out and underperforming the markets. Below, there's probably sellers, which is kind of, the selling, it may get more selling, again, if we get below 6,200 on the S&P. So where does that leave us? That kind of leaves us, I think, an overbought market. We've had a historic run from the April lows in stocks. Bonds are trading pretty well. It's not, panic. Japan's got some issues with their bond market, but so far that's been contained there. So, again, it's not a lot going on. A what me worry market kind of thing. That's going to change at some point. But right now, that seems to be the environment. So I'll be back on Friday. Thank you for listening. Please like, subscribe, share, and send us any comments, questions, suggestions. Thank you again. Goodbye.